Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Andarat Pranams.
Thank you for coming.
How was the night?
Fine, Prabhu.
Fine.
Yeah, we just finished our Krishna's party.
Oh, okay. That's very good. That's good.
Yeah, they do. Well. Christmas time, they do Krishna's party instead of Christmas party.
Okay, Krishna's party.
Yeah.
That is good.
Devotee exchange gifts among themselves, and yeah.
Wonderful.
So, yeah. Yes, Prabhu.
Sometimes I used
Krishna Prabhu, you are welcome. Prabhu, you wanted to say something before the internet went off.
Oh, okay. Well, what I was saying is that we used to do first Sunday, we organize fire sacrifice, just to usher in the year.
Oh, very good. It's a very nice program.
Thank you.
Yeah, fire sacrifice. Then they should do more of kirtan, because chanting the only name is the most powerful sacrifice. So even though that fire sacrifice is there should be more of chanting also. Right. Okay, let me just start. Krishna Prabhu, you're welcome.
Hare Krishna.
How are you, Prabhu? How are you feeling?
By the mercy of Sri Guru and Krishna, I'm okay.
Very good, Prabhu. Very happy to hear that. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshur-militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano-Bhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dati Swapadantikam Rupa Sagrajata Sagana Raghunatam Dam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Irada Krishna Padasagana Lalita Shri Vishaka He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagapate Gopisha Gopika Ganta Radha Ganta Namaste Sapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Krishavanu Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakapa Taru Vyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyai Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Jai. So we continue from where we stopped yesterday. Who can remind us where we stopped yesterday? Who can remind us where we stopped yesterday? That's what?
22.
Thank you very much about 22. So in test 22, it says, Tameva Basarayam Brita Vasalam Mumukshu Vibriga Padvaja Padam Tim Ananya Bhave Nijadharme Bhavite Manasya Vastapya Bhajaswam Purusham. So this test 22 is a very wonderful test. Yeah, continuation. So he said, my dear boy, you also should take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is very kind to his devotees. Person seeking liberation from the circle of birth and death always take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord in devotional service. Becoming purified by executing your allotted occupation, just situate the Supreme Personality of Godhead in your heart, and without deviating for a moment, engage always in its service. So, who is speaking here? Let's.
The mother.
What's her name?
Suruchi. No, not Suruchi. Suniti.
Yeah.
Suniti.
Thank you very much, Suniti. Yes, Suniti is the one speaking. So Suniti is telling his son. How many examples has he given to the son about how to achieve his goal? Based on what we have done before. How many examples he gave to him?
Two examples.
Who are they?
His grandfather and his great-grandfather.
Thank you very much. Yeah, he gave two examples that these two people, these two personalities, they achieve this present position they are in now by pleasing the Lord. So if you also want to achieve your position, your desire, you have to follow their footsteps. You have to follow the footsteps of the previous acharyas. So that is what he's trying to tell his son. These people, it's just like somebody who is successful in a particular field. So he knows the intricacies of that field. So you have to follow the footsteps if you want to achieve the same success. So that is what he's trying to tell him. So here he continues to tell him, my dear boy, you also should take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, just like your grandfather and your great-grandfather. Okay? Krishna is what? Pritya Vasala. Krishna here, the word you use here, sometimes they will say Bhakta Vasala, very affectionate to his devotee. But here, the word Pritya Vasala is used, means that Krishna is very kind to his devotees. Just imagine, Krishna is very kind to his devotee. Krishna, there's a very wonderful verse in Bhagavatam, Canto 3. Let me just bring it up. I want us to read this verse because this verse is one of my favorite verse in Bhagavatam. I love it again and again. Okay. Sorry, 1 minute. But it's not taken. There's another one. Baki, yeah. I was trying to remember the first word. Baki yam. Salaka lakutam. Jigasaya apia satui. So It's a very nice verse from Shima Bhagavatam, Canto 3, chapter 2, text number 23. Very, very nice shloka. If you can open it, please open it. Bhagavatam, Canto 3, chapter 2, text number 23. 3 to 23. Who have found it? Babu, have you found it? Anybody has found that verse? Canto 3, chapter 2, text number 23. Anybody found it before me? Okay, if nobody has found it, I will just read it. Are you seeing my page? Aubakiyam stalaka lakutam digam saya pap yada sadwi lebegatim datri uchitam tatoyam kamva dayalu sharanam brajema. Baki, alas, how is possible? How is it possible that Baki means witch? In Nigeria, we know what it means to be a witch. Those people that torment people every night. You know, witch. When you are sleeping, they are thinking of who to torment. Yeah. So, Baki, how come this witch, Kalakutam, one who has put poison in his breast to feed Krishna? How? Even though she's very, very unkind, this witch, Putana, Lebegatim Datri Uchitam Datoya. Even though she has this intention, but just Krishna seeing that she offered her breast milk. Krishna not thinking about the poison she put there, but because she offered her breast milk, Krishna gave her a position of a nurse in the spiritual world. So you now say, who can be more merciful than him? Who can be more merciful than Krishna? Somebody who has bad intention for him. He gave him liberation. Just imagine that you are trying to perform devotional service. What will be your destination? Even though if someone who has bad intention, Krishna gave him liberation. Just imagine somebody who is trying to perform devotional service. What would be their benediction? What would be their destination? So that is why when I saw this word, Pritya Vasaya, that Krishna is very, very kind to his devotee. This verse comes to my mind. How kind Krishna is to his devotee, how kind he is. You know? So it says, Mother Suniti continues, say, person seeking liberation from circle of birth and death, always take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord in devotional service. Becoming purified by executing your allotted occupation. Just situate the supreme personality of Godhead in your heart, and without deviating for a moment, engage always in a service. Whenever I meditate on this particular verse, like when I was reading it, I was meditating on it. The whole Bhagavad Gita is a knowledge, is a teaching to Arjuna. For Arjuna not to give up his occupational duty, but to do his duty thinking of Krishna. To do his duty remembering Krishna. You see? So sometimes when I see devotees, they preach as if everybody should come and renounce into the temple. No, that is not our process. Our process is what is mentioned here. Engaging in your occupational duty, but always thinking of Krishna. Krishna, Prabhupada mentioned in Bhagavad Gita chapter 8, verse number 7. If you open to Bhagavad Gita 8:7, you will see Krishna mentioned in that particular verse. I will just 8. Who can read it? Who found it first? I want somebody to read it if you found it. 8:7. Krishna gave us standard instruction by instructing Arjuna. Who have found the verse?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Prabhu, please read for us. Let us enjoy it.
Tasmat savatu palesu.
Yeah.
Mamanu yadyata.
Yes.
Mae pita. Mano budi.
Yeah.
Mam. Asya. Asam saya.
Thank you very much. Translation.
Therefore, again, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna, and at the same time, carry out your prescribed duty of fighting with your activities dedicated to me, and your mind and intelligence fixed on me. You shall attain me without doubt.
Very good. This is a standard instruction to everyone. Sometimes we preach to people as if they should come and be living in the temple. No, devotees, we should have working class devotees. We should have devotees in the government. We should have devotees in all the levels of life. So Krishna personally told Arjuna, you should carry out your prescribed duty, thinking of me. And Prabhupada gave a very short and wonderful purport that this instruction to Arjuna is very important to all men engaged in material activities. That is what Prabhupada said. This instruction to Arjuna is very important for all men engaged in material activities. Okay. So the same thing also here, Mother Suniti was telling to his son. He said, Krishna is very kind to his devotee. Person seeking liberation from secular and birth and death always take shelter of his lotus feet of the devotion of Lord in devotional service, becoming purified by executing your allotted occupation. So this is very, very important. So let's read the purport. Who wants to read the purport, please?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu, please go ahead.
The system of Bhakti Yoga described by Queen Suniti to her son is the standard way of God realization.
Very good.
Everyone can continue in his constitutional occupational duties, and at the same time keep the Supreme Personality of Godhead within his heart.
Krishna never told us to give up our occupational duty. Krishna did not tell us we should give us our material duty. Krishna said, you should add me to your duty. That is it. Please continue, Prabhu. Sorry.
This was also instructed by the Lord himself to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita. And that was the reference you gave us.
Yes.
Go on fighting, but keep me within your mind. That should be the motto of every honest person.
That should be the motto of every honest person seeking perfection in Krishna consciousness. This is Prabhupada speaking. That should be our motto of honest persons seeking perfection in what? In Krishna consciousness. Sorry, Prabhu, please continue.
Krishna consciousness.
Yeah.
In this connection, Queen Suniti advised her son that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is known as Bhaktiya Vatsala, which indicates, she said, you came to me crying, having been insulted by your stepmother, but I am unable to do any good for you. But Krishna is so kind to his devotees that if you go to him, then the combined kindness of millions of mothers like me will be surpassed by his affectionate and tender dealings. When everyone else fails to mitigate one's misery, Krishna is able to help the devotee. Queen Suniti also stressed that the process of approaching the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not easy, but is sought after by great sages who are very advanced in spiritual realization. Queen Suniti also indicated by her instruction that Dhruva Maharaj was only a small child, 5 years old, and it was not possible for him to purify himself by the way of Kamakanda. But by the process of Bhakti Yoga, even a child less than 5 years old or anyone of any age can be purified. That's the special significance of Bhakti Yoga. Therefore, she advised him not to accept worship of the demigods or any other process, but simply to take to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the results will be all perfection. As soon as one places the Supreme Personality of Godhead within one's heart, everything becomes easy and successful. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. So here, Prabhupada mentioning again that Mother Suniti instructing her son, you should not worship demigod. We will see, she will emphasize more on that in the coming verses. You should not worship demigod because their result is temporary. You should worship only Krishna. That will lead us to the next verse. And I'm going to speak more on that. You should only worship Krishna no matter whatever is your condition. Worship only Krishna, nothing else. Okay, let's go. 23. Nayam tata padma palasha loshana dukkha chidamte mrigayami kachana yomrigyate asta grihita padmaya shriye tarai anga vimrigya manaya. My dear Dhruva, as far as I'm concerned, I do not find anyone who can mitigate your distress but the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose eyes are like lotus petals. Many demigods, such as Lord Brahma, seek the pleasure of the goddess of fortune. But the goddess of fortune herself, with a lotus in her hand, is always ready to render service to the Supreme Lord. So from this verse, we can see that even the demigods, they are taking pleasure, they are taking shelter of the Supreme Lord. All of them, they want to take shelter of Lakshmi because we all need two comforts in this world. We need material comfort and spiritual comfort. So nowadays, most of my preaching has been focused more when I'm preaching to devotees. I talk more, especially in this society where I am. I talk more about balancing our life. Devotees have to learn to balance their life. You see, especially if you are not living in the temple, you have to learn to balance your life. Your spiritual life and material life must be balanced. Here it is said, Lakshmi, all the demigods worship Lakshmi. For what? For material comfort. Money will not give you spiritual happiness, but money will give you material comfort. So we don't speak against money. We did not say you should not have money. Because Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, you should have money so that you don't think of money. Because if you don't have money, all what you'll be thinking about is money. I want money, I want money, I want money. If you don't have money, that's all what you think about. You will not difficult for you to think of Krishna. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur said you should have money so that you don't think of money. You see? So what I'm trying to say in essence is that some material comfort is needed for us to be able to be focused in our spiritual practice. If that little material comfort is not there, especially in this age we are in, then we'll be distracted. We'll be distracted greatly. So that's why it's mentioned here, even all the demigods, they want to worship Lakshmi, but Lakshmi herself, she's worshiping the lotus feet of Krishna. So yeah, Mother Suniti telling Dhruva, everyone wants to satisfy Lakshmi so that they can get some material wealth. But Lakshmi herself, our worshipable God, is the Supreme Narayan. So please, to get your desire fulfilled, don't worship any demigods. You should worship only Lord Narayan. So let's read the purport. And we're going to analyze it paragraph by paragraph. Let's go. Somebody want to read the first paragraph?
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah,
Okay.
please go ahead. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. You're welcome, Prabhu. Let's go.
Thank you. I think I'm missing the timing of this class. Is this class starting 8 o'clock
Yes, Prabhu.
Nigeria 30? Okay. I'll take note for next time.
Yes, Prabhu.
Suniti pointed out here with it that the benediction received from the Supreme Personality of Godhead and received from the demigods are not on an equal level. Foolish person says that no matter whom one worships, one will get the same result. But actually, that is not a fact. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is also said that benediction received from the demigod are all temporary and meant for the less intelligent. In other words, because the demigods are materialistically conditioned souls, although in spiritual benediction, since a spiritual, I think
Although
I
they are
missed something
situated.
there.
Yeah, they are all situated.
In other words, because the demigods are all materialistically conditioned souls, although they are situated in every exalted position, their benedictions cannot be permanent. Permanent benediction is spiritual benediction. Since a spirit soul is eternal, it is also said in the Bhagavad Gita that only persons who have lost their intelligence go to worship the demigods. Therefore, Suniti told her son that he should not seek the mercy of the demigods, but should directly approach the Supreme Personality of God.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Let us quickly look at one point Prabhupada mentioned here. I want us to guess what Prabhupada is, which philosophy Prabhupada is referring to here. Can somebody tell me? This one I highlighted.
Foolish persons.
Eh?
Foolish persons.
No. There's what Prabhupada is, he called these people foolish person, but he's talking about some philosopher. I want us to guess. You're conversant with Prabhupada's purpose.
Yeah, I think he's talking about the Kamakandis here.
Prabhu, you are very close. You are very close. You are very close. Prabhupada is talking about the Mayavadis. The Mayavadis, they are the one who have this philosophy. They say, you're two parts. Means anyone you worship, you get to the same destination. That is their philosophy. Their philosophy is that, oh, you can worship Ganesh, you can worship Shiva, or you can worship Lakshmi, you can worship Kali, or you can worship Krishna. Anyone you worship, you get to the same destination. So Papa here is calling them foolish person. You see? So that is it. And here, actually, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna mentioned that those who are worshiping the demigod, they are even higher than these foolish persons. Because these impersonalists, they are lower than those who are worshiping them. At least those who are worshiping the demigod, they are a little bit highly elevated. But those who are, you will see. Now let us go through it again. But as a foolish person, say that no matter whom you worship, one will get the same thing. But actually, there is no, that is not the fact. In Bhagavad Gita, it is also said that benediction received from the demigods are all temporary and meant for the less intelligent. So here, Prabhupada is talking about, there's a particular philosopher in India who was speaking more about this. You know, they worship more of Durga form. So they say, oh no, you can worship any of these forms. Worship Durga, you worship Shiva, anyone you worship. No, that is why in this particular verse, Mother Suniti was telling his son that even Mother Lakshmi, that the Lord Brahma want to please, Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, or all these demigods want to please the goddess of fortune herself. She's always thinking of how to please the Supreme Personality of God and Lord Narayan himself. So therefore, my son, don't worship any demigod. Even though you have material desire, worship Krishna. We are going to talk more about that. Let's finish the remaining purport. We're going to talk more about that in the because she's going to emphasize more on that. Please, let's continue, Paul. Abaji, can we continue the purport?
Okay. Material opulences are controlled by the Supreme Personality of Godhead through His different potencies, and specifically the goddess of fortune. Therefore, those who are after material opulence seek the pleasure or mercy of the goddess of fortune. Even the highly placed demigods worship the goddess of fortune, but the goddess of fortune, Mahalakshmi herself, is always seeking the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Anyone, therefore, who takes to the worship of the Supreme Lord automatically receives the blessings of the goddess of fortune. At this stage of his life, Dhruva Maharaj was seeking material opulences, and his mother advised rightly that even for material opulence, it is better to worship not the demigods, but the Supreme Lord. Although a pure devotee does not seek benedictions from the Supreme Lord, for material advancement, it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita that pious persons go to the Lord even for material benedictions. The persons who get to the Supreme Personality of Godhead for material gain is gradually purified in association with the Supreme Lord. Thus, he becomes free from all material desires and is elevated to the platform of spiritual life. Unless one is raised to the spiritual platform, it is not possible for him to completely transcend all material contamination. Suniti, the mother of Dhruva, was a foreseeing woman, and therefore she advised her son to worship the Supreme Personality of God, the Supreme Lord, and no one else. The Lord is described herein as lotus-eyed, Padma Palasa Lochana. When a person is fatigued, if he sees a lotus flower, all his fatigue can be immediately reduced to nil. Similarly, when an aggrieved person sees the lotus face of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, immediately all the grief is reduced. The lotus flower is also an insignia in the hand of the Lord of Lord Vishnu, as well as in the hand of the goddess of fortune. The worshippers of the goddess of fortunes and Lord Vishnu together are certainly very opulent in all aspects, even in material life. The Lord is sometimes described as Shiva Virenchi no Taham, which means that Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma also offer the respectful obeisance unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. So we can see here, a person who goes to the Supreme Personality of God for material gain is gradually purified in the association with the Supreme Lord. Thus, he becomes free from all material desire and is elevated to the platform of spiritual life. Unless one is raised to the spiritual platform, it is not possible for him to completely transcend all material contamination. So sometimes you see the devotees come to devotional service for many years and see that their desire never goes away. You know, still very strong. That particular desire they are pursuing from the beginning. You know, they are asking, my Lord, my Lord, when are you going to fulfill that desire? Because why? They have not come to that spiritual platform. Because only one will come to this spiritual platform that all those material desire will go away. Just like the situation of Dhruva Maharaj, which we are going to come across at the end. So it's very, very important. That is why when we come to take darshan of the Lord, like it's mentioned here, proper mention here, the lotus feet of the Lord, the face. When you see the lotus face of the Lord, just like when you go to see the lotus, all your fatigueness will go away. Similarly, coming to take the darshan of the Lord, you know, relieve, you know, all our stress. just seeing, admiring, and meditating on the beautiful form of the Lord. All your stress, anxiety, all your troubles will automatically just immediately disappear. So that is why we have the deity to always go there and take that action. Immediately you become feel relieved from all the material stress and struggle. So that is why we worship the deities. Very, very important. Krishna, very fortunate to come in the form of the deity, to give us that this beautiful darshan, beautiful form. So yeah, properly again for emphasizing that we should worship only Krishna alone and no one else. No matter whatever is our desire. It is mentioned in Bhagavatam, Akama Sarvo Kamova, Moksha Kama Udaradi, Tivrena Bhakti Yogena Yajatam Purusham Param. Whether you have no desire, whether you have all the desire, or whether you have desire to merge, worship Krishna only with serious devotional service. We should worship Krishna only because only Krishna can give us material happiness at the same time liberation. No one else. The demigods may give you some material happiness, but they will not be able to give you liberation. Only Krishna can give you both together. Material happiness, like Papa mentioned in one of the purport we read before, Krishna will give you material happiness. At the same time, you get liberation at the end. Only Krishna. And that's what happened to Dhruva Maharaj. We're going to read more about that. Any comment or contribution so far on what we have read?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, although I came a little bit late, I don't know whether there was a continuation of our discussion yesterday, but
we can continue.
This particular purport is very interesting, and the verse you quoted is a very powerful key verse, Akaramasavu Kamuba, and which says, and then the purport, especially in the purport we just read, Srila Prabhupada emphatically stated in that purport that one has to go to Krishna, and that you supported it with that verse. So the idea of going to Krishna, and I actually was going to comment on Jyoti Sharup's comment yesterday.
Yes.
We don't necessarily tell people, even it is normal for people to want material opulence. So we don't tell them they cannot get opulence from Krishna, but we tell them, yeah, you can get opulence from Krishna, but there is a process. And the process is to come to the spiritual platform, as Srila Prabhupada mentioned in the purport. And the only way to come to spiritual platform is to chant the holy name of the Lord.
Yeah.
Sincerely, without any reservation, and then render service. When one sincerely render service and they chant the holy name, then one can become purified, and then is desired, just like we will read later on, as you mentioned, in the life of Dhruva Maharaj, even though he had that desire, but because he approached the Lord, he did not only get the material desire fulfilled, but he got the spiritual benediction. So the idea of telling people that, okay, we are trying to lure them, that is why we are telling them worship demigods, take a paraphernalia, are completely defeated by this purport. And that's my understanding of this purport.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Me personally, I will never direct someone who has come to the temple to Krishna to worship demigod. It's never mentioned in any of our scripture, especially about the Bhakti Shastras. Because why would somebody come to Krishna and you are telling him to go and worship demigod? That is not proper. I remember one time when I was in Lagos, when I was still the temple president in Lagos. So I used to get so many of these people come to the temple. And then sometimes I direct them to the people in the shop. Sometimes they come to me directly also. So whenever they come to me, I remember one particular man, he came to me. He said, sir, I have opened my church for more than 2 years now. There are no people in my church. What can you do for me so that people will I will be getting crowd in my church. I want crowd. I laugh. I laugh. I say, oh, very good. I say, it's okay. You want crowd in your church? Yeah. Have you read, you are a pastor? He said, yes. Have you read the life of Jesus Christ? He said, yes. What did he do before he started his mission? He fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. Is it not Okay. Mm. So, have you fasted for 40 days and 40 nights before you started your mission? Have you done any austerity? You know, like the other yesterday I mentioned also, before Bhakti started his mission, he did austerity for 10 years. 10 years. 10 good years. So I was asking him, have you done any of this? He said, no. I said, okay, so it's very simple for me. Very simple for you. I'm telling you. So if you want people to come to your church, I want you to do fasting for 7 days, 7 nights. Hey, Oga, I will die. You want power now? You want people to come to your church? Only 7 days you don't want to fast. So that you chant Hare Krishna. No, Oga, 7 days. 7 days is too long. It's too much. You know? So in that way, I was trying to even remind him of his own scripture, what his Acharyas has done. Eh? And then I'm trying to tell him, you can do the same way also and chant the names of God. I'm telling you, but if you can do this for 7 days, you fast dry, every day praying for the Lord to empower you, to bless you. At the end, you will see something different will happen in your life. You'll be different completely. I was telling him like that. That was the last day the man came to my office because he doesn't want to perform austerity. You see, so there is no there is no shortcut to perfection. That is what the life of Dhruva Maharaj is telling us. Just like they say, there is no food for lazy man in the Bible. Krishna never encourages laziness. Arjuna wanted to take the lazy path. Krishna, I don't want to fight. I want to go and meditate. Krishna say, what? What are you going to meditate in the forest? Huh? You are a Kshatriya by nature. How are you going to meditate? Your duty is to fight. But now don't fight for yourself. Fight for me. So there's no encouragement for laziness. Somebody if you want to attain perfection, if you want to purify yourself, you have to be brainer Bhakti Yogena. You have to do serious devotional service. It's not just I do devotional service how I like. No, it's called serious devotional service. Papa call it determine, fasting on Ekadasi day, fasting on the appearance day of the Lord, chanting our rounds, following the 4 regulative principles. Papa said those who are doing this, they are determined. They're engaging in bhakti. That is the only way to be empowered. So yes, there's no devotee that should encourage worship of the demigod because it's never done in any of our scripture, especially the Bhakti Shastras. Here, the same thing we are hearing. Even Suniti telling our son, the great demigods, even though they worship Lakshmi, but I will tell you, don't worship Lakshmi because she is the demigod. She's taking shelter of the Supreme Lord. So I want you to worship that Supreme Lord so that your benediction will be eternal. You'll be happy like that. So we should discourage devotees, encouraging people who have come to Krishna, then giving them a way to start teaching them how to worship the demigod. That is unjust. They are misguiding people. They are misguiding people, which is not very good. And I always remember also, sometimes when I discuss with devotees who are doing these things, I always tell them, from my experience in ISKCON, because we grew up somehow in ISKCON, so we saw those early devotees who are into these rituals. Some of them were very old that time. Many of them, the way they left their body was not very good. Because all these rituals, they are karmic in nature. So when you acquire all those karmic reactions, it's going to make your life very miserable towards the end of your life. Okay, now you get small money here and there to survive. But what about the karmic reaction you are going to get? You don't think about that? So the body should understand that the only permanent solution to our material suffering is only worshiping Krishna and no one else. Because only Krishna can give us that eternal happiness and liberation that we are all looking for to be happy. So, Babu, are you okay with that? Or you want to say something more?
No, there's nothing to say more. You've said everything. The important thing is that we just, like you said yesterday, maybe more what we need to do more importantly, and we're trying in a little way to just pray more for Krishna. I was reading, I was giving a lecture on one verse on the Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, and Maitreya Muni was telling Vidura about the symptoms of omens and what followed omens. And I was actually sharing that there are always two things, and actually it's supported by the purport of Srila Prabhupada and a verse in the Bhagavatam 11th canto I reference, that there are two things that happens when you see bad omens. It's either the birth, which was the description of the children of Diti, the pregnancy of Diti. And so we're sharing that when there is inauspicious activities going around, it's either a symptom that some bad or negative or demoniac person is coming into the system or has just been born, or the Lord is about to appear. Because when the Lord is about to appear, there will be a very high level of inauspiciousness and demoniac activities, and that will attract the Lord. And Gajendra's story also tells us that Gajendra went into a very distressful situation. And when that situation became very pronounced, when he got to the limit, zenith of it, at that moment, he prayed. And because of that prayer, the Lord appeared. So I think you have said everything like I said. Maybe it is time for us to pray like Gajendra more for the auspicious appearance of the Lord in whichever forms, because the Lord will always appear, but in which form he will appear to take care of things he may not know. And that's my only contribution to support what you've said.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. That is it, Prabhu. We have to consciously pray for the Lord to help our situation. That is total surrender. We have to pray, Krishna, we should cry. Krishna loves us to cry to him like a baby. Cry, cry. No, men normally, they don't cry in public. They cry inside, in secret. So when you go to secret, cry to Krishna. Cry. Women, they can cry anywhere. They can cry in the public and anywhere. They don't care. But men, they always hide their cry. So we should cry to Krishna. Cry. And say, Krishna, please help our situation. Just like Bhakti Saraswati, he performed austerity for years. Then Prabhupada came to him and he told him, go and do this. He empowered him. So we should pray and pray and fast and pray for the Lord to help our situation in West Africa. And then the Lord will appear, just like you say, or we will send someone that will come and take over this, and control the situation. Yeah, Madhuma Prabhu, your hand was up, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Jai Prabhu.
I just want to make my little contribution.
Yes.
The question raised by Yotis Swarup yesterday, that somebody came to him asking for wealth.
Yeah.
He should have said yes, because I believe if someone can sincerely follow 4 regulative principles and chant the Maha Mantra, definitely, because you don't eat meat, you don't gamble, you don't take illicit sex and intoxicants. All these things are things that drains human being, drains us. So if one can abstain from all those basic things, definitely the door of prosperity will open for the person. But just like you said, people don't want to take through any austerity or discipline. At the same time, they want everything. Yeah. So, but if one can abstain from illicit things, free of charge. Hare Krishna. Yesterday, you also mentioned that we should feeling of gap. That's a gap that we should feel, so that we'll be a living example to others. So we're able to fill the gap. Then in due course of time, the system itself will fine-tune itself. Things will be regulated. Just like you say, whatever you are doing, in due course of time, the result will tell you if you are doing well or not. You know. So that's just my basic contribution.
Thank you very much, Babu. Let's continue to hear the instruction of unity, because material will now come in. So this is we want to read the verse 4. Anybody volunteering? No one volunteering?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Tamara Krishna Prabhu, please go ahead.
Matya Uvacha Vibhasa Gadam Vata Maniyam Yasmanat Manam Visat Pituhu Purat. Translation. The great sage Matya continues of Dhruva Maharaj's mother, Sriti, was actually meant to fulfill his desired objective. Therefore, after deliberate consideration and with intelligence and fierce determination, both the mother and the son were having the mother and his father, not having taken any step on this issue, but mere lamentation is useless. One should find out the means to mitigate one's lamentation. That both mother and son decided to take shelter of the lotus feet of the mother because that is the only solution to all material problems. It is indicated in this connection with Dhruva Maharaj left his father's capital city to go to the secluded place to search out the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is this instruction of Sahad Maharaj also that if one is taking peace of mind, he should free himself from all contaminations of family life and take shelter of the Supreme Godhead by going to the forest. To the Gaudiya Vaishnava, this forest is the forest of Vrinda or Vrindavan. If one takes shelter of Vrindavana under Vrindavaneshwari, Srimati Radharani, certainly all the problems of life, all the problems of his life are solved very easily. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. That is because we have done the nectar of the voice of instruction, we understand the 11 verses in nectar of instruction, Upadeshamrita. The beginning verse started with controlling of the senses, controlling our desires, as what is acceptable and what is we should reject. Gradually chanting the holy name of the Lord, how we relate with devotee giving gifts and accepting gifts, how we see different 3 kinds of devotees, how we should relate with the different kind of devotees, how we should not see the spiritual devotee with material eyes. And gradually, Upadeshamrita taught us, then gradually, then we take shelter of the 3 spiritual worlds. Vrindavan is the highest, and Ayan is Govardhan, and Govardhan is Radhakund, and one should take shelter of Radhakund like that. So the perfection of life is to gradually control our senses. That is, if you see Upadeshamrita Srila Bhakti Bhakti Swami Maharaj said that book to be our life, what do you call it, manual. That book, it looks small, but very potent, very powerful. If you study and scrutinizely study that small book every day, you cannot make mistake in spiritual life. He started from controlling the senses to the highest level of going to Vrindavan, just like it's mentioned here. So yeah, now, after the mother instructed Dhruva Maharaj, he made up his mind to go to seclusion. So we're going to hear more what happened in that place. Somebody raising hand?
Hare Krishna.
Abu, you're raising your hand. Oh, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Okay. I think you said we should read.
Okay, 25. Yes, let's go ahead. Read, Prabhu.
Okay. Naradastat Kupatkaya Chantatasya Chipisitam Spiritual Matyani Agadena Parinam Paraha Vishmitaha. The great sage Narada overheard this news and understanding all the activities of Dhruva Maharaj, was struck with wonder. He approached the Dhruva and touching his head with his all virtuous hand, he spoke as follows. The purport. When Dhruva Maharaj was talking with his mother, Suniti, of all the incidences that has taken place in the palace, Narada was not present. Thus, the question may be raised how Narada overheard all these topics. The answer is that Narada is Sri Kala Jian. He is so powerful that he can understand the past, future, and present of everyone's heart, just like the super soul, the supreme personality of Godhead. Therefore, after understanding the strong determination of Dhruva Maharaj, he came to help him. It may be explained in this way. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is present in every. As he understands the eternal service, he sent his representative. In this way, Narada was sent to Dhruva Maharaj. This is explained in Chita Charitamrita, Guru Krishna Prasade, Paya Bhakti Lata Bija. By the grace of the spiritual master and Krishna, one can enter into the devotional service. Because of Dhruva Maharaj's determination, Krishna and the super soul immediately sent his representative, Narada, to initiate him. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you very much. So now, it becomes so serious. Many of us can attest to this. When we become so serious about spiritual life, we come to Krishna consciousness. You know, like maybe some of us were previously from Christian background mostly, and we become so serious about the question about life. Then suddenly you met Hare Krishna devotees, or you came across their books or something. Somebody talked to you about Hare Krishna, or you pick up the book somewhere and you started reading. When we become so serious to know God, that is what happened to us. So that is what happening. What is the same thing that is happening here? Dhruva Maharaj, his mother told him everything. If you really want to fulfill your desire, you have to go to the forest and focus your mind and worship Lord Narayan. So Dhruva Maharaj already decided, if Lord Narayan is the only one who can fulfill my desire, yeah, so be it. I want to go and worship him. So he made up his mind. He became determined. That is the meaning of his name. His name means determination. Dhruva means determination. Determine. Okay. He decided, okay, let me go and worship. So at that point, Naramani appeared. When you become so serious about spiritual life, Krishna will send a guru to you. Yasya prasadam bhagava prasado. Yasya prasadam nagati kutopi. Yayan suvantasya yasya strisandhyan. Vande guru shri charanaravinda. So when you become so serious about spiritual life, Krishna will send a pure devotee to you. And that is what has happened now. Narada Muni came, and here it's mentioned that Narada Muni is Trikalaya Gyan. Prabhupada is giving a question and answering himself. How does Narada know that Rupa Maharaj knows what is happening? Because Narada Muni is Trikalaya Gyan. He knows about the past, present, and future. Just like the person who has composed our scripture, Srila Vyasadeva, is also Trikalaya Gyan. He knows past, present, and future. Just like, let me give an example about how understanding of the past, present, and future happens is according to our level of exposure, according to the level of our spiritual realization, according to the level of our knowledge. I will just give a quick example. Just for example now, if you are living in Europe or you are living in a country where they have four seasons, regular season, you know that, oh, in this particular month, from November, December, January, February is going to be cold. You know, every year that is going to happen for sure. You know, in this particular month, May, June, whatever, it's going to be summer, hot there, whatever. And you know, the spring is this time. You know. So according to your experience in that country, you already know the what is going to happen every year and regarding season. Similarly, also the universe, those great sages, great personality, who are very who are cosmic personalities, they can see. That is why it's easy for you. You may be imagining, how does Vyasadeva know about Kali Yoga? How does Vyasadeva know about Kali Yoga? Vyasadeva, because he knows the past, present, and future. Because the universe continues to, it's a cycle. So these sages, they know about Kali Yoga, they know about Satya Yoga, they know about Dharma Yoga. It's a season that continues to come and go. Every Brahma's day, it's a season that continues to come and go. So they know about all these things. They know what is happening during that time. They know everything. They know that living entities are going to be like this at that particular time. So they are Trikalaya Gyan. They can see past, present, and future. And why is it that, you see, some of the stories that are compiled in the scripture, because for us, let's say, for example, now, in the universe, we had Srila Prabhupada, who came to show us how to attain perfection in Kali Yoga. So surely his name or his activities will be added in the scripture as an example of one who has come. That is why you see in Chaitanya Mangala was predicted that Prabhupada will come in Kali Yoga, because he keep on coming and going. These yogas keep on coming and going. So it's already predicted that Sena Bhakti Bhakta will come. That is Srila Prabhupada will come in Kali Yoga. So his activities already know that they will come to deliver, to give us Krishna Bhakti in Kali Yoga. So these things, they are already part of the universe plan, schedules to happen in every day of Lord Brahma. So similarly, Narada Muni already knows, and he has seen the strong desire of Dhruva Maharaj to attain perfection. Now he came to him and he's going to test it. Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, one of the purports, and we are going to read it very soon. The spiritual master must test the disciple, and the disciple must test the spiritual master before accepting each other. It's very, very important. Unlike today, we have in the spiritual society, there is no test. You know, sometimes the gurus, they just want to get disciples. They don't even examine the disciples. You know, whoever they put the names, okay, give him name, or give him the beat. No test. You see, there is no test. The disciple also don't even care who is the guru. Oh, I want to get name. I want to get name. Who is the guru? How is the guru? Whether I will follow his instruction or I will not be able to follow his instruction, he doesn't care. I just want to change my name. I don't want people to be calling me Bhakta Friday again. I want them to call me something else. So that is all what you know about spiritual life. You just want to change name. That is why it's very, very important for them to pass through the ISKCON disciple course before they take initiation. Very, very important, because in ISKCON disciple course, you will be taught you have to examine your guru. Your guru also will test you whether you are a qualified disciple, like that. So here, Dhruva Maharaj also, the same thing. When he was very serious, Krishna sent him Naramoni, who is Jagat Guru. All the people who attain perfection in the scriptures, you go and make research. Naramoni is directly connected, because Naramoni is the Bhakti, is the Bhakti Avesh of Krishna. When it comes to, is the incarnation of Bhakti of Krishna. So anything that have to do with devotion, Naramoni is involved. You go and make, that is why even when Prabhupada was on the planet, Prabhupada saw Narada Muni, one of his programs. He said, oh, Narada Muni, you are here. So Narada Muni must be involved because he's the Bhakti incarnation of Krishna, So yeah, now the same thing is happening. So Prabhupada mentioned Guru Krishna Prasade Bhaya Bhakti Page. By the mercy of the Guru Krishna, we get Guru. By the mercy of Guru, we get Krishna. Okay, so let's read this one. Autaja Shatriyanam Manabagam Amrishyartam Balokiyayam Ridadate Yasamatu Rasadashpachaha. How wonderful are the powerful Kshatriyas! They cannot tolerate even a slight infringement upon their prestige. Just imagine this boy, he's only a small child, yet ash words from his stepmother prove unbearable to him. So now he's testing him. So the qualifications of the Kshatriya are described in Bhagavad Gita. Two important qualifications are to have sense of prestige and not to flee from battle. It appears that Kshatriya blood within the body of Dhruva Maharaj was naturally very active. If the Brahmanical, Kshatriya, or Vaishya culture is maintained in a family, naturally the son and grandson inherit the spirit of a particular class. Therefore, according to the Vedic system, Samskara or the reformatory system is maintained very rigidly. If one fails to observe the reformatory measures current in his family, one immediately degrades to a lower life standard of life. So here, actually, when I was going through this verse, when I was reading before the class, maybe yesterday or before, one thing struck me when in the verse was mentioned, because Dhruva Maharaj is a Kshatriya, that is why he could not tolerate the insult, because the Kshatriya blood is flowing in his body. Then I was meditating on this topic very deeply, and something came to my mind. Sometimes, when we see a serious devotee, or a pure devotee, or an advanced devotee, sometimes we still find some material defect in them according to our own perception. According to our own perception, that's what I'm saying. That is our own perception, that this devotee is still like this, is still like that. You see? But what I realized from this point is that, let me give you a crude example we can understand. If you have a Volkswagen car, that Volkswagen car will continue to behave like a Volkswagen car until you change the car and get another car. A Volkswagen car will not behave like a Mercedes Benz, or will not go and behave like a sports car. Whatever car you have, that car will act the way it's designed to act. Similarly, a devotee or a pure devotee who have become pure by practice or by Guru mercy, sometimes because of the body they have, you may be perceiving some behavior in them, and you are looking at them materially. Then in that way committing aparad or offenses. So we have to be very careful, because why? That person, if already has attained liberation, but because of the body he is, he still is in this life. Sometimes he has to act in a particular way. And you come to make offenses to such devotee, you are going to ruin your own spiritual life. Just like what happened, so we will see as we continue this pastime of Dhruva Maharaj. He became so angry. He has attained perfection, no? He has seen Krishna, no? But he became so angry that he was killing all the yakshas. He was killing them. That even the demigods has to come. Oh, Dhruva Maharaj is okay. The anger is okay. Stop. Even though he has attained perfection, stop. It's okay. He was so angry that they killed his brother or something like that. And he was killing. So what I'm trying to say, because why? He has a Kshatriya body. He will continue to act as a Kshatriya, even though he has attained perfection. Just like in his conditioned state, because he has Kshatriya body, he could not tolerate himself. Even in his perfect stage, he's still acting as a Kshatriya. Because why? He has a Kshatriya body. More like us who have a Shudra body or below Shudra. That our body naturally is conditioned to be attracted to sinful activities. So we have to be very, very careful that we don't look down on serious or pure devotees who are not falling, who are seriously practicing, who are following the principle. They are not falling. They are seriously practicing, but because of the body they have, they may behave in a way that we materially perceive. We should be very careful with such devotees so that we don't jeopardize our own spiritual progress. So that's what I want to talk here regarding, because here is mentioned that because of the body of the nature of Dhruva Maharaj, that is why he could not tolerate this stuff. So sometimes it happens. Some devotees, people that are very advanced or serious, they act in a way that sometimes we don't understand. Without criticizing them, we have to be very careful. That's what I just want to mention about that. Any comment or contribution? Then we'll continue.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhu. Yeah. Okay. Yes, let's continue. Yes, Prabhu. Go ahead.
Okay. Just my commission is that imperfect person cannot cannot perceive a perfect person. So we see through your imperfection.
You say what? Come again.
Somebody who is not perfect cannot understand a perfect person.
That's right.
A pure devotee.
Yes. Yeah, that is why you say that is what is mentioned in the scripture. You're right. That unless you're a pure devotee, you cannot understand a pure devotee. You're right. Because sometimes we think that pure devotee means that their leg must not touch the ground again. They must be flying in the air. But it's not like that. Okay. Yes, Salika Prabhu, please.
Thank you very much, Kavikarnapura Prabhu, for giving this opportunity. Madhuvan Prabhu has actually instigated me.
Okay.
I was going to say something, and it just came exactly with that statement. And that's why I'm saying that he's instigating me.
Okay.
Oftentimes we use this in relation to what you said.
Yes,
we cannot look at a devotee with a material eye, because that would be, like rightly said, perfectly put, we might be jeopardizing our own spiritual life.
Yes.
But from the very day one of Krishna consciousness, a devotee is trained to be Jnana Shakshi.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be seen from the eye of the scripture.
Right.
And then when a devotee, yes, I'm not perfect, but because I'm speaking from Jnana Shakshu platform, I'm not speaking based on my perception, because I'm speaking referencing the scriptures. And then most often time, and this happens a lot in our West African, and people say you are committing a parad. That person is a senior devotee. You don't have the right because you are not seeing his real position. But actually, that's another Maya in my perception and understanding. I may be wrong, and I stand to be corrected.
Right.
Yes, the statement is that we cannot look at a pure devotee's activities and criticize based on our human perception, but we can identify and respond to a high-level devotee's activity using Jnana Shakshi, or the eye of the scripture. And the Prabhupada gave us a very elaborate, perfect examples. And Prabhupada was asked, even though, of course, Prabhupada is a pure devotee, Prabhupada was asked by the reporters, he said, are you meaning that you are perfect? The Prabhupada said, I'm not perfect, but I'm speaking the words of a perfect person, Krishna. So therefore, whatever I say is perfect. So I think this balance should be there in our relationship, in our identifying, in our responding to situations. Because yes, the scripture's instruction is that we should not look at high-level devotee, but we should also understand that that does not keep us in a limit situation. We need to also actually make corrections when there is a need, even if that person is a senior devotee. And so, summarily, my request, and I've been advertising, I've been campaigning for this, that all Vaishnavas devotees who are aspiring in this yatra should go and reach Vaishnava K, or what is called, What Kind of a Devotee Are You? By Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, commented on by Srila Japatak Maharaj. That book, anyone who reads that book sincerely will understand how to have a Vaishnava relationship in any circumstances, irrespective of who the person is, high, low, middle, lower, or anything. So I implore the devotees to go, please, kindly read that Vaishnava K book. It turned out my life in a better way, and I think every devotee deserves to read that book. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Babu, for your recommendation. Very wonderful. Yeah. So yeah, you are right. If somebody is wrong, it's wrong. If you are right, you are right. But yeah, what you're saying is perfect. But the truth that is there is that in spiritual life, just like we said again and again, again and again, as a devotee, we just have to be, we have to be spreading spiritual life with care, because, like we always say, spiritual life is like a razor hedge. It's like a razor hedge, and if you make mistake with razor, uh, we all know what will happen. It will cut you nicely, or it will shave you nicely. So, yeah, spiritual life is like a razor. So, if a senior devotee is engaging in activity that can jeopardize the movement, that can create problem for the organization, that should be that should be the attention of the senior devotee should be drawn to that, and should be done in a Vaishnava etiquette way. It's record how to go about that is mentioned in the Vaishnava etiquette. That you meet someone with senior to him, or you put a straw in your mouth and go to him yourself. How to do that is mentioned. Not by speaking about it to everyone, not by publicizing it. Oh, this senior devotee is like this. No, it doesn't help that senior devotee. You want to make that senior devotee to be negative about you, because it's a human being also who was feeling, who was winning. So if you see that the senior the Vaishnava is acting in a way that is detrimental to the movement, so we should go about it following the Vaishnava etiquette way. In that way, we can protect our own Bhakti seed. If not, many devotees, they have been right. Speaking about, I know one devotee when I was growing up. One of the senior devotees, I don't need to mention names. And also one very senior devotee, also very serious. When I came to the movement, it was very serious. He was always finding fault in all in the management, always finding fault in the management. And whatever he's saying is right. But at the end of the day, it's not more in Hare Krishna. You are saying right thing, and at the end of the day, you lose faith in the process. And how that has done good for your own life, for your own spiritual life. So that's what we are talking against. Yes, Babu. Thank you very much for this wonderful contribution. So Babu say recommend that everyone should read Vaishnava K. What kind of devotee are you? It's a very nice book. Yeah. translated by Jabadaka Maharaj. Actually, it was written in Bengali, I think so, originally. Okay. So let's continue from here. This is 27. Who wants to read, please? Who has not read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can I?
Yeah, please go
Yeah.
ahead, Jyotishwar Prabhu.
Yes. Narada Uvacha Nadhunapyavamanam te Sammanam vapi putraka Lakshayama Kumarasya Saktasya Krida Nadishu. Translation: The great sage Narada told Dhruva, "My dear boy, you are only a little boy whose attachment is to sport and other frivolities. Why are you so affected by words insulting your honor?" Purport: Ordinarily, if a child is rebuked as a rascal or a fool, he smiles and does not take such insulting words very seriously. Similarly, if words of honor are offered, he does not appreciate them. But in the case of Dhruva Maharaj, the Kshatriya spirit was so strong that he could not tolerate a slight insult from his stepmother, which injured his Kshatriya prestige.
So now,
Correct.
thank you very much, Abu. Here come the test from the Guru. Now, the Guru now is testing his disciple. Oh, Dhruva Maharaj, oh boy, you're a little boy. You're supposed to be attached to sports, running around in the house. Why are you so attached to certain words? So now the Guru is testing his determination. Very, very important. You cannot make spiritual advancement without no test. Every one of us has a weakness, and Krishna will continue to test that our weakness until we pass it. If you don't pass it, you don't go to the next class. You may remain in one class for 10 years, 15 years. You have to pass that test. Ultimately, then you move to the next class. And once you move to that next class, you see that lower level you were before was wow. You say, wow, why does that take me so many years to be able to pass through that level? Because that is spiritual life for us. So he was tested by his guru. Why are you supposed to be playing? Why are you disturbed? So let's continue to hear what he told him. Testing him. Somebody else want to read? Yes, Kamala.
Let me read to test 28.
Yes, Papa.
Vilkape vidmanepi nahi asantosha hetava Pamshomamrite bina yalo keni jakamabi. Translation: My dear Drover, if you feel that your sense of honor has been insulted, you still have no cause for dissatisfaction. This kind of dissatisfaction is another feature of illusory energy. Every living entity is controlled by his previous actions, and therefore there are different varieties of life for enjoying or suffering. Purport: In the Vedas, it is said that the living entity is always uncontaminated and unaffected by material association. The living entity gets different types of material bodies because of its previous fruitive actions. If, however, one understands the philosophy that as a living spirit soul, he has an affinity for neither suffering nor enjoyment, then he is considered to be a liberated person. It is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, text 54. Brahman Bhuta Prasanatma, when one is actually situated on the transcendental platform, he has nothing for which to lament and nothing for which to hanker. Narada Rishi first of all wanted to impress upon Dhruva Maharaj that he was only a child. He should not have been affected by words of insult or honor. And if he were so developed as to understand honor and insult, then this understanding should have been applied in his own life. He should have known that honor and dishonor are both destined only by one's previous actions. Therefore, one should not be sorry or happy under any circumstances. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. So now I have a question. Let us have a classroom discussion. My question is, if our suffering and enjoyment is not felt by the soul is completely neutral. So who is experiencing all this the suffering and enjoyment, honor and dishonor, insult and all this? Who is the one experiencing that? Let us discuss. Please let us raise up our hand and open our mic and let us talk. What do you understand? Who is the one experiencing this thing? Honor, dishonor, pain, enjoyment, suffering. Who is the one experiencing that? Based on the Prabhupada says it's not the soul. The soul does not. So who is the one experiencing that? Please let us speak. Yes, Babu.
Yes, I think the body is the one who experienced that.
Who?
The body.
The body, okay. According to Tama Krishna, Babu is the body, okay. Can you tell us, can you throw more light? How is the body experiencing that? Okay, already, okay. Okay, Babu, Jyotishwara, Prabhu, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, I think it is our false ego,
okay,
which taste all this happiness, distress. Yes, so is our false ego.
So now, see, you have the association of great riches now. Now they are discussing this philosophy. Who is the one experiencing all these material dualities? So a great rishi now just said that is the body. Another great rishi also said that is the false ego. Let us talk. Now let's speak more. I want to hear more.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hi, Prabhu.
I think is the mind. The mind.
Okay. Another great rishi say is the mind. Another great wonderful rishi. So any other contribution, please?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes. I think is the body made up of the material senses and the mind. The material body made up of the material senses and the mind.
Okay. Very good. Thank you very much, Prabhu. So another great rishi has said, according to his philosophy, sorry, I'm just joking about it. I'm sorry. Now that it's the body and the mind. Yeah. And all of you are right. You're right. Because when you look, that is why you see, when you study in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is always telling Arjuna, you should be neutral. Sorry, Prabhu. I've not heard from another great rishi. Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu, please.
He's not Shalika Prabhu, he's Saunak Rishi.
Thank you. This is very appropriate for Bhakti Vaibhav studies, because that is actually what it's meant to be, to introspectively go deeper into the meaning of the scriptures. All of the scriptures are perfectly right, but absolutely they are not right. And this is the reason.
Okay.
The soul is experiencing it, but the difference between a realized and a conditioned soul is that the realized soul is not affected, while this conditioned soul is affected. The spiritual master or pure devotee is feeling pain. It's not that he doesn't feel the pain. He's seeing the pain, but he's not affected by them because is self-realized. So the soul in any circumstance, and Prabhupada always give a very nice example. In a motor car, when a motor car gets an accident, the body of the car may damage, the headlight may break. The body of the car, or the car is the one that is being affected. But because the living entity is sitting inside the car, so it's experiencing the situation. But now, whether it's affected or not affected is determined on the level of his realization. So the soul is experiencing. So when Prabhupada is saying that the soul is not affected, Prabhupada would never say the soul is not experiencing. Prabhupada said it's not affected. And the soul is not actually affected. Who is realized? Because he knows that these are the activities of, like all of the devotees have said, the body, mind, and the senses. They are all activities of the heart, not the soul. So the soul is transcendental to all of this. So that is my understanding. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Babu. So, like Yudhishthira Prabhu said, the Sulakarishi himself has spoken. So, yes, Babu. And just like you say, all of you are right. Everyone is correct in their own perspective, just like you rightly said. And just like Bhakti said, oh, when I go to a place of worship of other people, and I pray in my heart that these people, they're worshiping my same God, but now for me, because of the training I got and my own God, I cannot understand their own God, but I offer my respect to their God so that I can develop more love for my own God. So that is his own how we see other religion, which is very, very important for us on how we relate with other people with their different philosophies and everything. So in that sense, everyone is correct in their own understanding. In Bhagavad Gita chapter 13, Krishna explained this very in detail. If you study Bhagavad Gita chapter 13, Krishna says it's like a air. The air is carrying aroma. So the aroma is different from the air. But as the air is passing through that aroma, you can feel that, you can smell it. And when you leave that area and you carry another, and go to another area, you carry another fragrance again. And like that, that is how the air moves around. So similarly, the soul, being the observer in the body, it goes through different body. So the soul is passing through different body, influencing this body and the mind, influenced by the three modes of material nature. But based on the modes of material nature, the soul, just like the hair, experiencing different aroma of the environment based on the modes of nature in which he is situated. If you are situated in the mode of goodness and you have knowledge, you will not be affected. But if you are in mode of passion, then you will suffer. And if you are in mode of ignorance, you will suffer more. So yes, everyone is right. So the soul is not affected, just like Prabhu gave example of the accident. The body and the mind, they are the one passing through, being controlled by these three modes of material nature. They are the one experiencing all these things. The soul is just like like Prabhupada will give a very good example. It's like wearing a glass. The soul is like somebody wearing the glass. So because of the glass you are wearing, at that particular time, if you are wearing a green glass, you'll be seeing green, green, green. So if you are wearing a red glass, you'll be seeing red, red, red. So based on the modes of nature that the body is situated, and your mind will determine the experience you get in this material world, whether pain or pleasure. So yeah, those who are self-realized, they are transcendental. And that is why Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita always emphasizing, be on the neutral path. Be on the neutral path, because you are not those things that is happening. Your soul is just observing and experience, passing through. So be neutral. If honor comes, be neutral. If dishonor comes, be neutral. It's your body and your mind that is passing through that honor and dishonor. Don't be affected as a soul. If happiness comes, be neutral. If distress comes, my brother, be neutral. If cold comes, be neutral. If heat comes, be neutral. But you should understand that is the body who is passing through that. Okay, now let me now ask another question, deeper question. Very good. This example I was using. Now we know that it's not the soul that is it doesn't feel the pain and pleasure. It's due to the our mind and the body based on the mode in which we are situated. Why is it that still sometimes when there is heat or when there is cold, we still have preference, even on the transcendental level. Even like, for example, I'll give an example. Prabhupada say, I prefer hot weather than cold weather. Because in cold weather, practically you become inactive. And in hot weather, you will still be active. So even though the transcendental personality, those who are transcendental on the spiritual platform, even though they are transcendental, they cannot understand this. Still, some or the other, because we are still in the material world, we can still not completely do away with the experiences that we get from the body in which we are situated. That is why Krishna says we should be neutral. Anybody want to add more to this? Any more contribution? So here, Nandamuni is telling, is preaching philosophy to Dhruva. You're a small boy. You're not supposed to be disturbed by honor and dishonor. You're not supposed to be disturbed by ash words. Small boys, you just play around. Even though they tell them you are stupid, you are foolish, they don't take offense. Why is it that you are taking offense? So Nandamuni was telling this to Dhruva Maharaj. So we should understand, still, when we are still on the material level, we cannot do away with it. So this philosophy, even though it's there, we should understand that unless we are transcendental, we cannot be on that platform we are speaking now. So we have to be practical as a devotee. Don't tell a devotee that, oh, Prabhu, you are supposed to be transcendental, no? Oh, I remember one time, I will not mention name. I was under one temple president in one particular temple in Nigeria. I was in the north. So I was there, I was serving as a pujari that time. So one time, I was having so much material, I was having fever, fever, so much fever, I was shaking like this. So I'm supposed to be the one working in the altar, but I could not go to the altar because I was having fever. And then Prabhuji came to me, Prabhuji, oh, what is happening? You are not doing your service. Oh, I'm having fever. Oh, Prabhuji, you are not the body. Go and do your service. Also, okay, not the body. Let me go and do my service. I was going there, so I went there and I carried the arati tray. And as I was trying to carry the arati tray, the shaking was so much that the whole paraphernalia fell on the ground. So I've not realized that I'm not the body because my body is really shaking and I'm really sick. And I cannot do anything because I'm not on that platform of transcendentalism, nature, So as a devotee, we should be compassionate. Even though we know that we are not the body, and we know that others are not in the body, we should not treat them on the platform of soul, even though we ourselves we have not realized it. Prabhuji, you're supposed to be transcendental. Why are you lamenting? No, we should not do like that. We should sympathize with the others, and because we are in the material world, so we should not start acting like we're already in the Goloka Vrindavan and start, thinking that everybody should be on that transcendental platform, even though when they are, they just lost their loved one, then we start preaching so much heavy philosophy to them instead of what to be encouraging. Yeah, it's okay to preach philosophy to them, but it should be preached in a way to encourage them, like that. So that is my own understanding anyway. Okay, let's continue. 30. Who wants to read, please? Who wants to read? Please, let's continue.
Let me try.
Yes, Pastor.
The verse says that Paritushyeta tastata tavan matrena purushaha devopasaditam yavat viksyeswara in Buddha. Translation. The process of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very wonderful. One who is intelligent should accept that process, and be satisfied with whatever comes, favorable or unfavorable, by his own supreme will. And the purpose, Srila Prabhupada said, the great sage Narada Muni instructed Dhruva Maharaj that one should be satisfied in all circumstances. Everyone who is intelligent should know that because of our concept of bodily existence, we are subjected to suffering and enjoyment. One who is in the transcendental position beyond the concept of bodily life is considered to be intelligent. One who is a devotee especially accept all reverses as gift of the Supreme Lord. When a devotee is put into distress, he accepts this as God's mercy and offer him repeated obeisances with his body, mind, and intellect. An intelligent person, therefore, should be always satisfied depending on the mercy of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. That's all. Let the very one of prayers. Tattenu kampasto sameshamano ujame patma krita vipakam rivagbapu bidadan namaste jivetayo muktipade sadayabak. So here it says, my dear Lord, one will earnestly wait for you to bestow your costless mercy upon him, all while patiently suffering the reaction of his past misdeeds, and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words, body, is surely eligible for liberation. It becomes his rightful claim. I want to conclude our previous conversation that it's not that the pure devotee are not experiencing the situation of the material existence. It's not that they are not experiencing it. No. They are experiencing them, but the consciousness is what Prabhupada mentioned here. Because they see everything as the mercy of the Lord. So when they are undergoing suffering, it's not that they are not feeling the suffering, they can see Krishna in that suffering. They see Krishna, they know that this is the mercy of Krishna for them. Still, they continue to appreciate God. They continue to appreciate Krishna. They continue to glorify him. That is the meaning of this verse we just read. That what he is saying, Krishna, I don't know what I've done in my past life, in my previous life. I know I will have gotten more suffering. Thank you for making me small. Thank you, Krishna, for this. I really appreciate. Thank you, Krishna. Devotees become more Krishna conscious, even in that suffering. And when they are experiencing pleasure, there is enjoyment. It's not that they don't see that it's enjoyment or pleasure. No. They can see it's pleasure, it's enjoyment, but they remember Krishna. Oh, Krishna, please don't let me forget you. Although everything is so wonderful, so full of pleasure, please don't let me forget you. I just want to always remember you. Like that. So the consciousness is what matters. And that is what Narada Muni is telling Dhruva Maharaj here, that one who is intelligent that is satisfied with whatever comes, favorable or not favorable, by the supreme will. So a devotee has come to that level of spiritual transcendental platform to accept whatever situation put before him or her as the mercy of God. That is his position. Not that he's not feeling what is going on. Not that he's not experiencing what is going on. No. Krishna say we should be neutral and think of him. Only on that platform, then we can get the mercy of God. The kingdom of God become our rightful claim. Mukti Padesa Dayabak. It becomes our rightful claim. It becomes our inheritance. By thinking like that, by cultivating such consciousness, the kingdom of God becomes our rightful claim, our inheritance. Whether you are suffering, Krishna, thank you. Whether you are enjoying, Krishna, thank you. Whether something is going zigzag, you don't understand, Krishna, I don't know what is going on, thank you. I just want to remember you. Whatever is going on, Krishna, please, let me always remember you till I leave this body. That makes us to become, to qualify, to have the qualification to go back to Krishna. So that is the point. So we have 10 minutes more. Let us go back to discussion. If there's any comments or contribution, then we can. If not, we just read the 30, then we'll continue tomorrow.
Hare Krishna, I have a question.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, how do we balance seeing everything as Krishna's mercy, whether it is good or bad, and at the same time, balance it with hankering to improve, have a better improvement, to probably do more service, probably serve the Lord more, or whatever.
Oh, very good question, Prabhu. Thank you very much for that wonderful question. Seeing Krishna, seeing everything as the mercy of Krishna and want to improve in our service, it's a wonderful consciousness. Very, very wonderful consciousness. Shows that Prabhuji, that person is already on the transcendental platform. Because one who is on the conditional platform will not think like that. Will not think about improvement or to want to serve Krishna more. Because somebody who is suffering, he just wants to alleviate the suffering. He's not thinking, oh, I want to serve more. No. But somebody who is suffering and still want to serve Krishna in that suffering, oh, that person is already a transcendental soul. He's already a liberated soul. Or somebody who is having so much enjoyment, he wants to serve Krishna more. Doesn't care. Oh, it's already a transcendental soul. It's already a liberated soul. Like Shilarupa Goswami mentioned, Jiva Mukta. That person is already a liberated soul. He's just remaining in that body until he will leave the body. Once he leaves the body, he will attain his spiritual form. Because the body we have taken now, whether we like it or not, we continue to act in a particular way, function in a particular way, even though if some of us have attained that spiritual perfection, the body will continue to act in a way that is designed to act. Just like a downfall car or a Volkswagen car will continue to act as a Volkswagen. Mercedes will continue to act like a Mercedes. If you want a different condition, you have to change the car. So similarly, whatever body we have acquired, we continue to act the way it's conditioned to act. It will leave the body, even though if we are transcendental in that body. That is why the scriptures, they are encouraging us not to criticize a perfect soul in that particular body, because we don't know. And that is why Krishna says, Apiche Sudura Charo. Apiche Sudura Charo. Sadhu Eva Tamatavya. It's a sadhu, as long as it's attached to my service. People know sometimes is acting in this particular way, or maybe he's falling or whatever. But because he's always attached to increasing his service, he wants to serve more. He's a sadhu. He's not giving up devotion service. He stays for devotion service increase. He's a sadhu. I think I mentioned that in Bhagavad Gita. So yes, Babu, to balance that is that one who's already in that consciousness, you already have a balanced life. There's nothing to balance. You are in any situation and you want to increase your service. Oh my God, Prabhu, that is a wonderful consciousness. That is a very rare consciousness to see. Generally, we want to run away from pain. But if somebody is feeling pain and he wants to serve more, that is wonderful. And I always remember towards the end of his Bhakti Story Maharaj, when Maharaj was leaving the planet, he gave a very wonderful lecture, Becoming a Stone in Vrindavan. I always remember that lecture, very wonderful lecture. Become a stone in Vrindavan. And I always meditate on that lecture. Maharaj is trying to tell us how humble we should become. He's talking about becoming a stone in Vrindavan. Sometimes we become puffed up with our spiritual life. We hear about becoming gopis, powered boys. These are highly elevated positions in the spiritual world. For you to attain that position, look at Dev Goswami when he was narrating the pastime of Krishna with the cowherd boy in Canto 10. He said he doesn't know how much pious credit these children have gotten for them to be able to directly play with the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. People look at Dev Goswami glorifying the position of a cowherd boy. Just imagine their position. The cowherd girls. Sometimes we make joke of this cowherd boy, want to become bad cow girl. It's a very high position. That's why Maharaj was saying, becoming a stone. Even Lord Brahma is the topmost human being in our planet. Lord Brahma, when he came in contact with the gopis, he prayed to Krishna, Krishna, please, I want to become grass so that these gopis of yours step on me. Krishna sent Uddhava to Vrindavan. After Uddhava have experienced the love of the gopis to Krishna, Uddhava, who is already a friend of Krishna, he said, no, I'm not qualified. I want to become a blade of grass in Vrindavan also, so that this gopi can step on me. Unless we attain such high level of humility, that spiritual world, when we talk about gopis or gopas, we cannot understand it all. That is why when Maharaj was speaking of becoming a soul in Vrindavan, I could immediately imagine his level of consciousness at that point. There's no doubt for me where he's going. Because he was saying, even to become a stone in the spiritual world, you are wonderful. Not to become a stone and the body step on you. So unless we come to that level of humility, we cannot enter the kingdom of God. We cannot. So to enter that kingdom of God, to enter that transcendental realm, to enter that transcendental consciousness, we must realize this position that we are nothing. We just want to be humble servants of the servant. So that those servants who are highly qualified can even step on our head to serve the Lord. So for one to be able, in any condition, to want to increase the service to Krishna, that person is a realized group. And he's already understand what it means to balance one's life. There's nothing else for him to do. So I don't know, maybe I'm able to answer your question, Prabhu, or you want to throw more light.
Well, thank you so much, Prabhuji. I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Kalika Prabhu, please, unmute yourself. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you very much for your explanation. Kamalasha Prabhu, thank you so much. That was a very beautiful question, introspective one. I just want to make a contribution to add to what Tisha has said, with his permission. The question where, how do we balance accepting everything as the mercy of the Lord and just be in the extreme part of it, it could make someone become complacent, that he will just not do anything. On the other side of it, it could make somebody be doing something, but not actually achieving anything. And I'll share a short 1-minute story. Several years back, Srila Bhakti Tita Maharaj was going around the temples. And in this very temple I am in Jos, there is one, I will not mention the devotee's name. He was in the charge of this place then. And that devotee, because like Krishna wanted everybody, wherever he goes, he wants them to give reports. So Srila came to Jos, and then this temple president was to give report to Srila come in his usual manner. He was asking, so what's going on here? And he said, yes, we're doing so many things. We're trying to do so many things. In fact, we have opened the, one account, a bank account in this bank. We have opened another account in this bank. And in this other account we are trying to open, it's in the process. And we're going to open another account in another bank. It's like it up and laugh. He laughed, busted laugh, very lively. So it's like Christopher asked him, so all these accounts you have opened, how much is in this account? And he said, actually, we opened the account with 500 naira. The other one we opened with 200 naira, and we are still hoping to get some more money to put in them. So Clever kept on laughing, and he said, this is the symptom of a rat associate in the house. He said, yeah, you're doing so many things. You're right. But what is this that your distribution master wants? Is it just about opening an account? Yes, I wanted all of the temples to have a proper accounting system. But what is the use of all of these accounts you're opening without having any savings for the temple or even able to maintain the temple? So I'm sharing these pastimes because in the course of trying to balance between accepting everything as the will of the Lord, one has to look at what is the desire of the Lord. And that was what Krishna told Arjuna. You have to, what does Krishna want you to do? And if something is coming in your life and then it doesn't correlate with what Krishna's desire is to a devotee, you should understand maybe something is going on in your life, because ordinarily we could take compliance and say, okay, it's Krishna's will, everything is going by Krishna's agreement, and we just accept it. But you might be actually falling apart. And then, so if things are happening, so it's not only just to accept them as Krishna's will, that everything is by Krishna's mercy. You should check, am I doing the right things? Am I acting in the right consciousness? Is this kind of Krishna's warning? Is it a chastisement? Otherwise, if we just accept everything as the mercy of the Lord, we become complacent, and before we know it, you won't lose devotional service completely. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. So, just to conclude, based on Prabhu, what Prabhu has just contributed, which is very wonderful. And then we round up for this week. Then we meet next weekend. Like I said, after we finish this chapter, I'm going to divide the chapters for all of us based on the different lessons. And everybody is going to they're going to give their own presentation with PowerPoint. So we can start preparing our mind. I'm going to divide based on the lessons of the different chapters. So I'm going to give us particular section. I will give a particular section to this particular group. I will give another section for a particular group like that. I will divide it around. And we are going to give a presentation with PowerPoint. So to give us what you have understood and also give your own insight with Prabhupada's purpose, putting Prabhupada's purpose on the best also like that. So we're going to do that in every of the lesson we're going to be doing for this the period I will be doing that. Because what I've realized is that when the devotees on their own preparing their own presentation and present it, we're going to give it like maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes depending on how long the presentation may be. That stick to them more and more. I remember when I was doing my own Bhakti Vaibhav, when we were in Canto 3, I gave a particular presentation on a particular chapter. See, today I still remember that chapter today in my head. And the devotee, they appreciated so much that particular section I gave during that period. So when I divide it, let us put all our energy, let's put all our effort in making those presentations, bring out the points in those tests and the purport to explain to all of us what you have understood in that particular section. So that's what we're going to do. So just to round up what the contribution Babu gave, very wonderful. There's one devotee who I was speaking to regarding this actually, about Krishna mercy. Sometimes we see so many senior devotees in ISKCON nowadays who think that who were staying in ISKCON for many years, and when they become old and they don't have position in ISKCON, they have been serving in the temple. Then when they become old, then there's some needs they have some basic needs, and it's not being met. And some of them they start complaining, they blame ISKCON for ruining their life, to waste their life, and this, that, so many like that. So I was telling that devotee, see, just like Prabhu rightly said, we should not become lazy in the name of Krishna's mercy. You know, nobody was tying you down in the temple that you should not work. Temple life is a voluntary life. Nobody tie you down that you should not go and work. When you look at your life and you see that, you know, because now we don't even have old people's home, we don't have old people's home, where they have not made proper arrangement for that in ISKCON. They don't have old people's home, they don't have, nobody care about you when you hold, except if you still remain in service when you are old, then you may enjoy that facility. But apart from that, such arrangement is not made institutionally, you know. So for some devotees, they just they serve generally in the temple. When they become old, nobody care about them again. Then they start complaining. They blame everybody. So as a devotee, we should understand: if you truly a pure devotee, a serious, sincere devotee, you will not complain. You will not blame anybody. You will not blame anybody. You will not complain. You will still become more. You will still be more serious in your chanting, and you know that Krishna is going to take care of you ultimately. But because you are not so serious in your spiritual life, so that is when those complain and crying and talking about how people treat you in ISKCON and all those things come because of you are not serious in your spiritual life. So we should not use Krishna's message, just as Babu is correctly saying, to become lazy in the movement and not do our duty. Just like we read before about Dhruva Maharaj, we should do our duties and always remember Krishna. So we should not use Krishna as an escape from our duties, and we should not use Krishna as an escape from the society, from the family and all those things. We should do our duty at the same time, always Krishna conscious, and in that way we will never be wrong. We will always be happy as long as we are Krishna conscious. No one in this life who is Krishna conscious and is unhappy. I've not seen. Those who are not happy, who are complaining, they are people who are not Krishna conscious. You go close to them. So when we become seriously Krishna conscious, we will not have any complaint. We will not have any regret. We will not. We know that Krishna is Krishna's will. Prabhupada give us a very nice motto. We should work as if everything depends on us, but we should think as if everything depends on Krishna. That should be devotee's motto. That should be our consciousness. Work as if everything depends on you, but think as if everything depends on Krishna. So in that, we will end at this point. Already past the time, we say to 8 minutes. We started a little bit late also. So we continue from test 30 and next week. Let's go through the verses and the purpose before the class, so that we come with questions and contribution in the class, and have a meaningful discussion. I know that is how, just like Babu Sadiqa said, Bhakti Vaibhav means when we come to the class, we read the purpose, we read the verses, we discuss, and that is how we learn. That is how whatever we discuss, it will remain with us like that. Thank you very much for coming, and I'll see you all next week, Saturday, same time, same place. May we remain blessed till then. Hare Krishna.
Kavikarnapura, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.